Hi GITV, Bob the Axeman Hildebrand here, back from vacation and ready and raring to get to Bob the Axeman's Rebel Training Camp in Antioch, California. Now, this event is coming up on February 8th, and I want you to join me there because it's going to be one fun, great day of gameplay at GamePod Combat Zone. Now, I've got a couple guns from my own personal collection that I'm thinking about taking to this Rebel Training Camp, first and foremost of which is the Tokyo Marui 870 gas shotgun. Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors. Alright, so I'm really excited about this gun. This has been one of my most recent purchases, and first of which is because it is a gas shotgun, meaning I'm probably going to be able to fire this in a quicker fashion than I would my previous spring shotguns. Now, what else is revolutionary about this gun is that I'm going to be able to switch between firing 3 BBs per shot or 6 BBs per shot. Lately, it's been a bit tough to switch back from 6 BBs because the spread is just perfect for CQB. Now, firing at 6 BBs per shot, I'm going to be only able to get about 5 shots per shell because each shell holds 30 rounds. But that is no problem. I've become quite adept at switching out the shells pretty quickly, and overall, this is just an incredibly fun gun, and in my opinion, great for CQB. I actually got this right here at airsoftgi.com. I'm just, waiting for some time to customize out this hand grip. Maybe put a side saddle shot shell carrier on here. Let's go over to the next gun. Now, you may recognize this gun. This is my old Tokyo Marui AK-47. I've used this in a variety of engagements very recently, including Tim vs. Bob 5 at GamePod Combat Zone, which is another reason why I'm going to be taking this back to the Rebel Training Camp on February 8th at GamePod Combat Zone. Now, I've made a couple additions to this gun. As you can see, I've taped on a pressure switch, as well as taped on my flashlight. I think it gives that Rebel look. You might also recognize this from our time at Fort Knox, Kentucky at Operation Irene this year. Now, this thing would not be functioning were it not for the Airsoft GI Tech Department, more specifically, Lead Tech Aaron Moore, who's now the head of the Airsoft GI Tech Department. Now, he has made this thing purr like a kitten, functions very well. I even have a miracle barrel in this, so there's very little left to right deviation. Overall, I'm very pleased and very happy with this gun, and I think it's going to perform beautifully up north in the coming weeks. Alright, last but certainly not today is my LM4 PTS. I love this thing. I'm a big fan of gas blowback rifles. I'm a big fan of just about gas blowback anything, it seems like. But I gotta tell you, I do love this MOE grip. I am thinking about changing out for a longer rail system, but for the time being, I've incorporated a Magpul PTS RVG, a rail vertical grip, as well as a Manta rail cover that includes a pressure switch compartment, which I really like. I've also got a flashlight on here that can switch back and forth between normal streaming and strobing, which I really like. Sorry, Ross, who's standing behind the camera. Big fan of this gun. It's just a really cool gun to play with, and it does work for a GamePod Combat Zone, as well as a couple other fields in the SoCal area because the FPS is a little higher than CQB limits. But not a lot of extra bells and whistles on here, just exactly what I need. Vertical grip, flashlight, pressure switch, as well as a sling mount on the back here. So these are basically my favorite guns that I'm considering taking to GamePod Combat Zone for Bob the Axeman's Rebel Training Camp on February 8th. I'd like you all to join me there. We're going to have some U.S. military trainers there, as well as myself and some Airsoft GI staff. And, well, more than anything, we're going to have one great darn day of gameplay. So make sure to check out tickets for Bob the Axeman's Rebel Training Camp on airsoftgi.com. It's going to be February 8th at GamePod Combat Zone. Airsoft GI would like to thank our sponsors.